A Mardu Smallpox deck. There's definitely always has been a subset of modern players who just love the Smallpox archetype. And I will say that Kroxa is really good in modern right now, in my opinion, and fits very well into this deck. I did change a couple of things. One thing was there was just the main deck shenanigans that was trying to take like that was trying to go with Karn getting your coding, but the thing is, like, if you get coding, you already have Karn to go with your shenanigans, and so I thought that that was just like much worse than playing the fourth card in the main deck. So I cut that, and then there was also a third Urborg in the main deck, and I think that the first copy of Fetid Heath and potentially even the second copy of Fetid Heath, but I didn't want to change the list too much, is better than the third Urborg because Fetid Heath also lets you go flagstones into Smallpox, and Fetid Heath allows you to filter flagstones into mana that can cast Kroxa, which is a big deal. So that's another thing I would be looking at if you're interested in building this archetype is playing multiple Fetid Heaths because Flagstone's Kroxa is a bit of a non-bow. Not the biggest deal though. You can definitely include it. I was also told I could build the sideboard however I want. Well, I didn't change very much because they already had the Madcap package and like most of the Karn board. But one card I am really interested in is Cosmos Elixir. I do think that you want to grab something that can gain life right now. And Cosmos Elixir I think is worth testing. At the beginning of your end step, you gain 2 life unless your life total is greater than your starting life total. Otherwise, you can gain 2. So you could also grab this against control decks and just have it be, a Phyrexian Unlife that doesn't, deal you damage. So it's possible this is not better than like Witchbane Orb, but I'm interested to try it at least. But Urborg does that too. Yeah, but Urborg is legendary. So like the fact that you don't have to play 3 copies of a legendary land is kind of like is what I'm getting at. I know I didn't explicitly say that, but that's what I like about Silent Clearing is just drawing 2 is not the end of the world. And it's not the end of the world in this deck either because you have discard outlets and sacrifice outlets for your land. But if you can mitigate that downside by just playing 1 or 2 Fetid Heaths, I think that's a big deal. Playing against Reed, who I'm told just 5-0 to league with John. I'm going to mulligan this hand. Let's keep this. I think I'm putting back Cleansing Wildfire and going turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Triumph tapped into Liliana. Okay. It's been a long time since I played against Reed. Really excited. Been months since we ran into each other in the queues. Kolaghan's Command, Liliana Tarmogoyf. So we have a Liliana to deal with that Tarmogoyf pretty efficiently. I think I'm actually going to take Kolaghan's Command though, because if I edict the Tarmogoyf and my opponent just gets back Tarmogoyf and kills my Liliana, it's pretty bad for me. I'm not sure if I even care about their Liliana all that much, especially now that I've drawn Lingering Souls. Oh yeah, Damping Matrix would actually be a really good sideboard card for Karn. I forgot about that. But yeah, I think Damping Matrix was a card I was trying out in the sideboard of Blue-Red Dragons as a hedge against Heliod. Reed does have a pretty land-heavy hand, something to keep in mind. Eliza, 4 months, thank you for coming back. Appreciate ya. Yeah, Blood Crypt so I can cast Spyro. Am I discarding the Smallpox or am I discarding Lingering Souls here? I think if they play Liliana and they just plus, I'll just discard the Smallpox. Just like getting both half of Lingering Souls is a big deal. When will I be playing Scrollblade again? I'm not sure. Again, soon. People have been asking a lot today, or at least a few times today. But I just don't know when I'm going to play things, besides the Dono Deck Day on Thursday. I like to go where the wind takes me and see what I'm feeling. Discarding a Verdant Catacombs, which was not a land we knew about. I think I'm gonna be okay to discard. Oh, I shouldn't have tapped white first. Maybe Reed will think this is like a sick bluff. Of course, Aspiring Spike isn't playing Lingering Souls. But John's Bane, Lingering Souls. They also discarded Fatal Push, which was another unknown. So might be wanting to keep 4 lands in hand to actually cast a Bloodbraid Elf. 100k on yes, wow. Yeah, kind of surprised that the odds are that slanted for no. But I also don't like really think it's gonna happen, so maybe that's a safe bet. Just like the odds are so good for yes, that's like maybe. Is there still time? I probably shouldn't be saying anything till there's no time left. Because a lot of people like to wait till the very end and just go all in on like the lowest one. Yeah, there was the Bloodbraid Elf into Kroxa. Am I double blocking the Bloodbraid Elf to keep my Liliana alive? I think so. So Reed might actually edict me here, which he does. So I think I'm chump blocking. I think chumping is good here. I guess it's free to cast this Inquisition. This Kroxa is a big problem though. So we could do something like plus Liliana, double block Bloodbraid Elf, and then edict the Kroxa. Notably no sideboard for this matchup. Matchup's probably a little bit in our favor though. Not sure. Opponent might not attack. I mean, that's also fine. If they don't attack, then we get to edict the Bloodbraid Elf last turn, but our Liliana survives, as opposed to like the other line, which is just edict Bloodbraid Elf, and then lose our Liliana now. Feels bad. Maelstrom Pulse versus Lingering Souls. Yeah, I don't think we had the luxury of playing around a big top deck, but we're super dead to Kroxa. Let's just go to game 2. Do you want to bring in any of these cards? I don't think so. I think I'll just resubmit. I think our configuration's fine. Is Cosmos Elixir any good? I think that it is. This is actually my first time ever testing it. I was told I could change the sideboard, and I wanted a way to gain life in the sideboard, and I actually think Cosmos Elixir is really enticing both as a grindy card and a life gain target for Karn. But I'm not 100% sure that it's a card you want to be playing. Graveyard Hate. Well, the thing is, like, every artifact in the sideboard can be gotten by Karn. So I don't want to just like play Tormod's Crypt or Grafdigger's Cage against John. That's not very good. But if I need Graveyard Hate for something, I could get it with Karn. I can keep this. A weird hand. Maybe I should play Urborg on turn 1 so that if I draw Flagstones, I can Smallpox on turn 2. The downside to that is not getting to... Like, we can't shot... We can just, like, not have to pay 2 life to Sacred Foundry. But I actually feel like the upside is there. Like, it almost feels like if we draw Flagstones, we just win. So, I'm going to play to that. Foundry into Small Spot. Well, the problem is, like, we can't play Smallpox on turn 2, right? So we got rewarded, which is awesome. I feel really, really happy about that. Yeah, we can't play Smallpox on turn 2 if we play Foundry on turn 1. Thrilled that I got to do that. Then we get to get Liliana going. Gonna discard Blood Chief's Thirst. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little extra happy that it happened against Reed, my hero. We even have the Kroxa to discard, which is so nice. Yeah, if only we had paired against Reed when we were playing Siege Rhinos today, that would have been awesome. Our one match with that league was against John. If Reed's the hero, does that make me the villain? Well, I mean, if he's my hero, I don't think that makes me his villain. Or my villain, right? But it's hard not to stand for Reed. Reed's just so great. An excellent role model. Red and 6 is pretty good against our deck. Oh, no, sorry. I meant to discard the Swamp. That was a mistake, actually. Not going to be a huge deal, probably. Could come back to bite us. I think I'm getting a Pithing Needle. Could get Cosmos Elixir. I'm going to get the Needle, though. If they bolt the Karn, it's not that bad. Is it smart to minus? I think it's fine. They didn't Lightning Bolt my Liliana. They could have gone Lightning Bolt Liliana into minus Ren 6 on the Liliana, so I don't have the Reed. That Reed has a bolt. Of course, you do get to draw one card every turn in Magic the Gathering, so it's certainly possible they could have one now. But if Reed had a Lightning Bolt 2 turns ago, they would have bolted Liliana minus on the Ren. And so like this plays much better around Maelstrom Pulse or Assassin's Trophy, which we saw the Maelstrom Pulse last game. Even in case they, I mean, if they discard my tutor target, I'm really not that bothered either. I think because if that's their turn, then we have other good Karn targets. We can just play Kroxa. Do you have any pet peeves about Magic design / rules? I don't know. Maybe a couple, I guess. I really dislike it when. I really dislike it when I look at a new card and I'm like still kind of confused as to what it does, and you know, sure, I'm not like the sharpest person in the shed, but as for someone who's been playing Magic nonstop for years and years, I can't imagine if I am confused on what a card does, if a newer player picking it up and not being able to understand it is, I think, a really bad thing. And I know that's like part of their philosophy. Anybody should be able to read a card and have an idea of what it does or know what it does if they know how the rules work. But I'm mostly just talking about mutates here, but there are a few other cards. But I just remember having to read mutate like 1,000 times and just not knowing what the card does. And also like Cosma recently, I don't like how many times I had to read that card to understand it. He believed the line is the Tutor Platinum Imperial. Ah, I see. But mutate like took me so long to understand it. Honestly, I didn't really understand it till I played with it on Arena. So yeah, that's definitely a pet peeve I have, I suppose. And it's kind of embarrassing to admit it, I guess, because it admits that you're not, always the sharpest. But I certainly am not. I did 5-0 with Kazuma last night, or 2 nights ago now. Still don't know if it's good, though. Is this Magmatic Sinkhole? Why does this feel like Magmatic Sinkhole here? It's like the tapped... I don't know. We'll see. Okay, just Seasoned Pyromancer. Wasn't sure what... I guess Reed wasn't sure what the discard was. Just 2 lands, though. I would like to draw a land. I'll definitely settle for that. Might end up edicting their Spyro, I'm not sure. Make sure I don't want to get anything here. Yeah. Let's just plus, discard the Mire. I think the 1 life matters more than the thinning and the ability to get a red source. Oh, my opponent also discarded Kroxa. Okay. Kind of funny. They spiraled discarding 2 lands, and then I spiraled into 2 lands. It's kind of the same thing. Similar, at least. By opponent, I mean Reed. Yeah, I usually, when I recognize my opponent, I'll call them by their name for like the first, like 5 minutes, and then I'll just like autopilot to my opponent. They, you know. Didn't want to crypt exile the Kroxa? I don't think so. If my opponent spends their whole turn escaping Kroxa, if Reed spends his whole turn escaping Kroxa, I have a lot of good lines on board against that, you know? I get to ultimate Liliana, I can Karn for things that are good against Kroxa, so I don't really think Reed's going to do that. What's Karn going to get? Karn can get Ensnaring Bridge. We can see how Karn can get Engineered Explosives on 2. Karn can killing my Needle and my Pyro. That's bad for us. Attacking Liliana so she doesn't ultimate. I can also get Empyrean for the Believers. Gets Overgrown Tomb, back tapped. Okay. I might do it. Okay. There's a big part of me here that just wants to get Cosmos Elixir. We can also just get Coding. We get Coding, target the Coding to make them unable to activate this and escape Kroxa. And then put them down to 1 card in hand. Or we can Edict the Seasoned Pyromancer. No, I don't really want to get Explosives. I think getting Coding. This seems like a good turn. Also, Castle Locthwain is a powerful draw. I don't think I said that. Oh, I was supposed to escape Kroxa, though, before I did any of this. To give Reed a little less info. Oh, we also get to Oh, no! We could have exiled Pithing Needle with Kroxa and gotten it back with Karn. That would have been a cool line. I don't know if it's better than this line, but it would have been really cool. Actually, I think it would have been better. Just like now the Karn is just like pretty dead to a bolt. Yeah, that would have been a cool play. Karn specifically says get an artifact from outside the game or exile. So Karn specifically allows you to get cards from exile, but you are right that you can't wish with Burning Wish for a card in exile. Interesting. Too bad I don't have a Worm Coil to get. I'm probably getting back Seasoned Pyromancer tokens this turn. Plussing here. Coding the Ren. Yeah, getting back Needle last turn would have been better. Man, I wish I had done that. Probably better to get back Pyromancer tokens rather than Castle Locthwain. I suppose we also just have the option. You can kill Lily with Karn. No, I can't. I can attack Liliana for 2. Yeah, Liliana's at 4 loyalty, so I don't know why that's the line. They didn't edict, they terminated. Oh, I could attack with Liliana though. Which also wouldn't kill a Planeswalker, but I could make Liliana into a Planeswalker and attack with it. Opponent's not escaping Kroxa, so they're gonna go for the Seasoned Pyromancer line. Oh yeah, I can also attack with the Karn. Oh, is that what you meant? Attack with the Karn? I guess I've never done that before. But you are right, that should be how it works. Is it Cosmos Elixir time, though? It could just be Pithing Needle time. Pithing Needle Time coding their Ren and 6. Sorry, coding their Liliana. And don't activate our Liliana. Although I guess we can Castle Locthwain too. Yeah, I've played against Reed several times. I don't think we've ever played at a high stakes event. But on Magic Online a ton. By a ton I mean, you know, like 5-6 times. This does, you know, hurt my Cosmos Elixir plans. Am I plussing with this Liliana to discard the other Liliana? No? Yes? No, I'll just discard it to the Kroxa so I don't lose 3 life. Is that better? Yeah, I think I'd rather have 3 life than a loyalty on Liliana. And I'll just leave back the tokens to trade for my opponent's tokens. Yeah, I could have turned Ren and 6 into a creature and push it, but I think this is a bit better. Could also have Edicted it. Wow, Karn has like so many interesting lines in his shell like this. Like, we could maybe just do that next turn, is like turn Liliana into a creature and Edict it if we get to trade elemental tokens here. Which I guess it's not that likely we get to trade elemental tokens because Reed is going to want some Edict insulation for the Kroxa probably. Is this game 1? No, this is game 2. This is game 2. We lost game 1. Love to get to trade elementals, but it's just not going to happen. We should be able, we can escape our Kroxa next turn, which is nice. We're guaranteed to be able to with this Liliana. Discarding Seb Swamp. I think it's better to still coding their Liliana rather than just start destroying lands. There's a Secret Lair Swamp from Seb. Good friend Seb. Reed can't escape. Kroxa also has a new card in hand. Yeah, I'm glad we got a good game. Although I made a mistake by not getting the needle back immediately. I think I made another little small misstep. Maybe it was just that one. This might be a grab Platinum Empyrean game too. It could definitely happen this game. Lightning Bolt targeting Karn, and now Liliana is active. So that was a really, really good top deck. Now there, Liliana's going ultimate. We're basically locked into Edict with our Liliana this turn. Maybe I'm supposed to Wildfire myself to thin. So there Liliana goes to 5 with this block. And it can Edict Wear Elemental token. But Reed needs a top deck to do something here to like really pull far ahead. Removal spell, Threat is really good, which is, of course, most of Reed's deck. But if Reed draws a land, Reed can't attack. So Reed has not drawn a land. Lander Rin in 6, I guess. Yeah, wildfiring herself, you're right, also helped with Kroxa. I guess if Reed drew exactly Rin in 6, then he can just not plus Liliana and technically not be dead on board. Is that a better line than just not attacking? No, I guess has to attack, right? Edict's my elemental token. Drew second Liliana, probably. Yep. We can escape Kroxa again, though, and then trade Kroxas, because we have the Mire in play. Ideally, we can also draw something else. Right. If we fetch and shock, we can also... oh no, sorry, we can cast a Locked Command without shocking. On our opponent's end of turn. So Reed goes down to 5. We also don't have to block. Actually, we don't have to block. We can go to 1 and then kill Reed on the backswing. Who won game 1? Reed did. So if Reed attacks, we can probably infer that he has drawn a creature. Or this could just be a bluff. Rin in 6 down tick. That's not going to happen. Probably better to block, right? I mean, we even have outs if Reed has drawn a creature. If Reed had drawn a removal spell, he would have cast it. I guess we're dead to bolts if we don't block, but only exactly bolts or Kolagon's command. Yeah, I think I'm gonna block. I think that it's probably not in Reed's nature to make this attack as a bluff. Can't cast if you take that. I mean, I know that. You're also dead to abrupt decay without blocking. If our opponent had decay, they would have decayed Kroxa and then attacked. It was a bluff! Oh, I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. It's awesome. It's so cool that it was a bluff. That's 3 damage, by the way. My opponent also shouldn't be able to escape Kroxa next turn, while we might be able to. Yeah, we can put at least 1 card in the graveyard with Mire. That was such a good bluff. I really just didn't think that he was going to be bluffing. I had the wrong read on Reed. Oh no, there's the Catacombs in play. I missed the Catacombs being in play. So yeah, Reed can discard whatever card he has here, crack Catacombs to escape Kroxa, but then Reed is dead to me being able to put any card in my graveyard to escape my Kroxa. Hold lands to discard to Liliana. Guess that was better. Yeah, that was better. Ah, wait, I guess edicts to keep the card in hand, I see. So the card in hand's probably a removal spell. I guess it's just any spell to discard to Kroxa. I can lock in response to Lily up. Yeah. Can. How many cards have I drawn off of this? Like 4. Is it bolts? Is it Kolagon's command? It's bolts. What a game. What a game. Yeah, so I guess I just should have read that there was the bluff. We're going to draw Smallpox? Yeah, so Smallpox actually would have been a win. Because we get to kill Kroxa, make them discard the last card, and then escape Kroxa. Zopper, 5 months. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. I'm not sure if we're supposed to play around bolt though. Yeah, it probably was good to draw in response. Oh, Reed, thanks for the raid, dude. That was an awesome game. That was probably the best game I've played all week, honestly. I realized I could get back Pithing Needle off the Kroxa like as soon as I didn't that first turn. That probably would have been a bit better. I also didn't think that she'd be bluffing there. So like definitely big kudos to you for bluffing with the Kroxa attack. Yeah, great match, really good one. I'm gonna wait a turn on the Smallpox here. I played Dono decks on Thursday. Everybody from Reed's chat. This is one of the Dono decks. It's a Mardu Smallpox list, and you just saw it from Reed. And maybe actually making them discard is so bad for us. Probably still fine. We get to get the Kroxa in the yard. Yeah, but this deck was really fun. A lot of really cool lines. We were also thinking about there's just like a million options with Karn the Great Creator and removal spells with coding where you can like... Or I don't think there was a great window for it, but we could have turned Reed's Liliana into a creature and then edicted that with our Liliana, or turned the Rin into a creature to push it. Thought that was pretty interesting. Corn Chips gifting a sub to Reed. Very cool. They also didn't discard Ox, which I think is good for us. Although now they can because they can Flaggerate. Yikes. Yeah, if we top that Karn, we can win. Thanks, Reed. I just love good games of Magic. Discard the Heath and the Thirst here. You thought Karn could only turn artifacts into creatures? Yeah. Yeah, but we have liquid metal coating to turn any permanent into an artifact, and then you can kill it with your removal spell or your edict. Pretty dead here, though. So we have Karns in the main deck for Graveyard Hate, and we also have Madcap Experiments in the sideboard to bring in with Platinum Empyreans, which are usually very good against Dredge. But it's unlikely we're going to be able to beat Ox of Ognas. Thanks for all the follows, everybody. Play mostly Modern on this channel. Do a lot of brewing and deck building and stuff. Guess I need to work on my my sales pitch as a streamer. Probably don't have too many universes where we win this game. We'll play it out. Feeling a little bit of lag here. Should maybe restart Magic Online. Have a thought about a Smallpox deck in Sultai. Gives you access to this card called Uro. What does Uro do? Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. When Uro enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it was escaped. And what's okay? An escape is green, green, blue, blue, exile 5 other cards from your graveyard, and you gain 3 life and draw a card. I don't know, isn't it just like worse than Growth Spiral? Why would you play that card over Growth Spiral? I guess you get to gain 3 life, but life gain isn't good. I don't know. I don't think that card's very good. I guess you have you can discard it to value. I get it, but probably not better than Kroxa. You know what I mean? Like Kroxa's already black, and Smallpox is a double black card. Yeah, it gets hard countered by Kroxa too. That's a great point. Yeah. Kind of like probably like a Fawn F&M deck to play Uro in like a Sultai pile, but it's not very good overall. That's true. Uro does pitch to force, which may be the only time Uro is ever good. Why haven't I conceded yet? Does anybody know? I guess I was just shitposting too much. I don't think so. She was for a little bit, but I let her back in. Okay, so I think I'm cutting these smallpoxes and as many Lilianas as I can. Alright, we're gonna bring in Cosmos Elixir.
So I
And play one
car
Liliana.
For the first time in my life.
Uh-huh.
Washed my car.
For the first time in your life?
Yeah, in my car driving life.
I'm amazed.
I know.
That's incredible.
I'm amazed. My car was disgusting.
I'm gonna mulligan this.
Beautiful again.
Alright, well, glad you're back.
Do you want some food? Food.
What food?
Spanakopita and bread, cheese, and salami thing.
Say that first thing again.
Spanakopita?
What's that?
The little spinach triangle things.
You're just gonna tell me I know what it is?
Yeah, you know.
Okay, yeah, sure. Are we Lord of the Rings fans? I guess so, yeah. During the big Texas blackout, we watched Two Towers extended cut on a laptop. Did I side in Cosmos simply because I had more cards I wanted to side out? Yes. I thought that was clear, but I guess I didn't articulate it. I can blame Esther on that. Do we board in non-platinum Empyrean artifacts and leave the combo in? Oh no, we did. Oh no, we did. This is amateur hour. Alright, we're gonna get lucky. Step one to getting lucky. Probably just win this game very easily. I mean, I'm definitely casting Madcap if I draw it, by the way. Yeah, Elixir gains life, so it's fine to Madcap into. Just trying to make good TV. This is my second match ever with this deck. First one was against Reed. Second one's against Dredge. It's not been an easy start. If they don't have a third land, I think we win this game. They have a third land. Why is Karn in the deck? I mean, Karn's pretty good. Karn kind of synergizes with the land destruction spell, or the land destruction, plan. Kind of in theory. Karn's kind of good when both players are low on resources. But it's Donation Deck Thursday where I play your guys' lists, so that's really why. Or if they don't hit a Narcomoeba, damn it. Mardu versus Jund. Or Mardu versus Dredge.
I also bought milk. Do you want a latte, coffee mocha, or something?
Yeah, that sounds good. Alright, we've yet to win a game yet, but at least we had the best game we played against all week with Reed. Although Karn's stock has fallen a little bit because he's less good against the Swiftspear decks, and those are far and away the most popular decks in the format. We're playing against a Luris deck, so I'm going to put back Thoughtseize here. I'm still not sure if I was supposed to just not block the Kroxa that Reed attacked with. I had Castle Locktwain going. So close. Such a good game. Waiting for the day Green Tron gets donoed. It was actually going to be donated for this week, but I rejected it. I reserve veto rights. Well, our draw was incredible against our opponents, so that's good. Yeah, the bluff attack was so good. And also, just I played the Urborg on turn 1 because I didn't have the Flagstones already in my hand. But I had the option of playing Sacred Foundry tapped, or Urborg on turn 1 to try to draw Flagstones and Smallpox on turn 2, and I drew the Flagstones off the top. I felt really good about that. Would I play 8 Rack as a dono? Maybe. I don't think I would play like stock 8-rack, I guess. I think I hold this to discard to Spyro. I don't think I'd just play like regular mono black 8-rack, but maybe if you have some like interesting tech or innovation, I'd do it. Well, goodbye, Seasoned Pyromancer. So if I had another land in my hand that could cast Kroxa, I wouldn't fetch here to make Scourge of the Skyclaves worse. But I have Bloodchief's Thirst and I don't have a land to cast Kroxa next turn anyways. So would I do a Hive Mind Dono? Maybe. So like I do have a option where I'll build a deck for you, or I'll try to build a deck, right? Ooh, thank you, Vampiric Tutor. And for a card like Hive Mind, I don't know that I necessarily could get a good list together. So I've done it in the past where if I just like can't figure out how to make the $50 donation work, I just refund it. If I get truly stumped, so I would accept a build around me Hive Mind Dono, with the possibility that I might fail to make a good Hive Mind deck. But I don't think I've ever actually had to do that. I feel like I've always been able to at least get a list together that I think is good enough to stream with. Battle of Wits. I've done a Battle of Wits Dono. I might reject it again, honestly, or like charge more for it, because like with my rental service, it's honestly a pain to get all the cards together. So if for Battle of Wits, I'd have to like probably charge extra again if I did it again. What about doubling season? I mean, I let's not just turn this into, you know. What about, you know, would you brew around this deck? You can submit the donation. You can submit your list. You can submit your idea. Then if I don't like it, or if I don't feel like I can do it, I'll refund you. Is how I usually do it. What about Squire Tribal? Isn't that just every Stoneforge Mystic deck? Dude, I would love to have a core tribal payoff in Modern. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. But there's just so many good core. There's Giver of Runes, Skyclave Apparition, and Stoneforge Mystic. I guess that's really it. But a cool core tribal payoff, and not just like 2 mana cores get +1/+1. Just some kind, maybe like an equipment tribal payoff or something. I would love to see it. But as far as I know, there's not a payoff for cores. Yeah, Firewalker's another good core, yeah. Team Battle Rage. Well, it's kind of a boring turn where the best line is just definitely escaping Kroxa, leaving Lingering Souls in the graveyard. What about equipment that gives, you know, let's whatever, right? Just like I don't want to turn this into custom Magic stream either. I know as much as that can be fun. And we don't. This is not I review your custom Magic card. I do not work for Wizards. They don't. I don't have any input over what cards get made. But I also think cores are super cool. I'm still salty. I don't know if Dalton is in the chat, but my DM wouldn't let me play a core because they weren't canon to his world. But the core is a playable D&D race that I would have loved to play. What do I think of the 5-color Bring to Light Valky decks in Modern? I think they're decent. I think they're hard to find the best version, besides just like kind of stock Niv with 1 Valky. Wait, Armament Master, is that a real card? Or I'm sure it's a real card. I don't know what it does. Is it a core payoff? Cores in D&D. I think it's. I don't think it's actually in a book. I think it's in a supplement. For like this. So every Magic set that releases, they have a supplement, to that set, for D&D to give you like some playable races sometimes, some flavor. And core is in the Zendikar one. Armament Master, white core. Other core creatures you control get +2/+2 for each equipment attached to Armament Master. Okay, that is something. That is something. I didn't know. I did not know that that card existed. Very cool. Is that like a legacy commander card, or is that just something I never saw? I mean, either way, it's something I never saw, I guess. From Zendikar. Was it from original Zendikar? Because that was before my time. I started playing in Return to Ravnica. Yeah, no, they've got like little expansions. They're not like full books, but they're like little expansions for like Innistrad. Yeah, this is a little before my time. Sorry for the latte shrieking in the background too. Restu's making me a cafe mocha. Mulligan this. This is acceptable, I guess. The London Mulligan also makes the Madcap Experiment package much better than it was before. I know the London Mulligan's been out for a couple weeks now. Maybe that's old news, but still think it's good to point out. What kind of latte equipment do I have? We have an espresso maker. I don't really know if it's like high end or low end or what, but it was a gift for Christmas from my mom. And it's been great. It's been great. I really, really like it. Turn on Soul Guide Lantern. It's wild to think how long the London Mulligan has been around. Yeah. I'm just taking Kolaghan's Command. They, just can't cast Scourge this turn. Kolaghan's Command also obviously answers this. I wish we could do a different mulligan. I really feel for people who say that. Like, I totally get it. Totally get it. But I like the London Mulligan personally. I guess we're gonna Smallpox here. Or is it better to Liliana? Yeah, let's actually Liliana this turn. The next turn we can go Smallpox their second Scourge plus cast Lingering Souls. After discarding it to Liliana. Thoughts on the Warhammer 40k MTG set announced? I mean, Warhammer 40k has really cool lore, and like the fantasy setting is definitely, I think fine. I think the setting is fine for a Magic, crossover. I don't know. I think I'm just kind of down for crossovers in general. I think they're just fine to do. I'm not like in love with them or whatever, but I feel like I'm not the target audience, but I don't dislike that they exist. I don't really have strong feelings about it. I hope that the cards mechanically are good and fun to play with, and that's like really where my thoughts on the matter end. We want to discard the Mire to the Smallpox and then the Souls to the Liliana to not give them a window to exile Lingering Souls with Soul Guide Lantern. But I don't really know too much about Warhammer 40k, but from what I can tell, it's very flavorful with like a deep, rich lore, and it's cool. Crossovers would be best done with storylines integrating them into in-universe events. Yeah, I think it's totally fine. I just don't have strong feelings about it. Where like Magic for me has always been about the mechanics in the game, and it's really cool that there's like a deep lore associated with them, and there's characters that you have a feel for, and there's worlds you have a feel for, and the atmosphere and the flavor is nice, and it definitely adds to the experience of the game. But at least for me, it's just never been what the game is about. It's never been the primary draw to the game for me. So yeah. 40k kind of sucks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about it. I know that the orcs, their ships go faster because you paint them red, and because they're low grade psychics. I think that that's kind of funny and interesting. And maybe it's not. I think I'm just gonna. Well, maybe we could just not activate Liliana. Actually, it's probably the best.
I missed.
Thank you.
Because I really want a latte, but then I don't want to get one from Starbucks.
Does the announcements today about WotC being its own branch now and 40k and Lord of the Rings make me feel encouraged or discouraged about Magic Future? I don't know. I hadn't heard about WotC being its own branch. I don't know what that means. So I guess I have no opinion on that yet. Managing it, and a lot of decisions you can really feel are made because there are people and teams at Wizards in charge of making them who love the game. And then there are other decisions who seem like they're made by executives because they know that this is a decision that will make money at their business, which ultimately I think just has to be fine, right? They are a business and they're going to make decisions that make them money. But I do think there's a lot of those types of decisions I think have been bad for the game overall, but have been profitable in the short term. Like decisions to cut like GP coverage, I'm very critical of the whole like restructuring of the Pro Tour circuit. In my opinion, was done without really having a plan in mind at all. They just wanted to change it, and I think that ended up being one of the worst things that's happened to the game since I've been playing it. It's just like it's the changing the Pro Tour to the Players Tour, just getting rid of the gold silver structure. And that structure was not perfect or it was good, but it was just kind of changed without a real cohesive plan, and it's constantly changed since then. And I feel like those decisions were made more at the corporate level than at like the employee level. So that's kind of my opinion on the matter. Oh, we're playing against Inverter. That's cool. I haven't played against this deck yet, but it's been popping up a bunch. I guess Karn will be pretty good. Our hand's pretty slow though. Could have maybe mulliganed. Yeah, I don't know. So I know that was a bit rambly and ranty, but I feel like I don't talk about that kind of stuff that often, so it's good when someone actually asks me. I can give my opinion when it comes up.
She has this bit of computer bits.
Yeah, this is the new Ad Nauseam, which is really just Inverter, but it plays a lot of like the Ad Nauseam cards. And that's you can tell because there's Shelldock Isle plus Gemstone Mines. Mill doesn't play Gemstone Mine nor the Talismans. Deck's very cool. Yeah, I also don't. I do think that it's the idea of the MPL was good, that they were going to pay the pros, a nice salary and like give a interesting goal for people to work for. But the MPL has been really weird, right? Because there's been COVID and like it just hasn't changed. The people in it hasn't really changed in a while. And so like a big problem with the MPL now is that no longer does it really feel obtainable to ever be in the MPL, at least for someone like me. Whereas I was like, at one point, and I know I at risk of sounding like a huge boomer, at one point I had 12 pro points with 9 months to earn, or no, I had 13 pro points with 9 months to earn like 2 more pro points that would translate into me being silver. And if I was able to get those pro points in like the next 6 months, that would be a PT invite, and that I could maybe be gold if I had another good finish at a PT. And I was super thrilled about that, and I was making serious plans to travel to multiple GPs to grind for these pro points to make a run at gold. And then basically immediately after that happened, they announced they're getting rid of the pro point system, and the whole idea of trying to become MPL became incredibly unobtainable. And then I became much less interested in tournament magic at that point. I basically became, not interested at all, honestly.
And then you became a streamer.
Yeah, and then that ended up being really good for me because I became a streamer. Absolutely.
I think that also basically pushed you.
Yeah. I'm not saying that this is. It ended up being good for me because I ended up becoming a streamer because of that. Not immediately, but that was like the domino. But I think I know a lot of people who loved Magic, who had dreams of not necessarily making Magic a full-time job, but loved the idea of playing on the Pro Tour, having some good results, some good finishes, and making like a name for themselves. And that dream died, with the implementation, with the MPL system. And I don't know. I'm again just kind of rambling. I think that they drew another Thassa's Oracle. I feel like that's the only way they'd play one from their hand and not the Teferi. Although, why wouldn't they just play Teferi?
Did you read my text earlier when I went to the dentist?
No. Is it important or no?
I can tell you now. Remember when I said I thought that I broke off my filling?
Mm-hmm.
Doctor said that I ended up breaking my tooth.
Of course he said that.
What do you mean?
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
Hey, is it fine now?
I have new teeth, filling teeth.
Good. Now you're more of a cyborg.
Yeah, the more fillings you get, the less actual teeth you
I think
have.
my opponent's trying to activate Wish Call Talisman, but they can only do that on their turn.
I have so many fillings.
Dude, if you could activate Wish Call on your opponent's turn, it'd be so much better.
You don't need all those teeth. Can I have one?
I'm just gonna get coding here. So they can play Teferi. We know that they have Teferi in their hand. I think that they also have Thassa's Oracle. But maybe I'm wrong. Kill the Shelldock. I'm working on it. Maybe they'll bounce their own Oracle, attack my Karn. I used to be, I still am in group chats with a bunch of other Magic players who used to grind like PPTQs, RPTQs regularly, and I'd see them all the time. And I still do talk to these people, and like these people are still my friends. But basically nobody I know that used to grind tournaments does anymore. And obviously it's different now because of COVID, but it was already like that before COVID too. They did draw the other Oracle. I'm glad that I had that read. And Karn is so unbeatable for them here. They agree. So I don't have a ton to bring in for this matchup. The Bloodchief Thirst and the Fatal Pushes aren't dead. Do I want to actually side in any of these cards? So Tormod's Crypt does sometimes beat Inverter. But I might just be wanting to grab that off of Karn to buy a turn when I play my 4-mana spell. I think I'm just resubmitting. Any cards you want to see reprinted into Modern and MH2? Vindicate is a card I'd really like to see in Modern. I think Vindicate would be a good addition. And then you guys can debate over if Vindicate would be too good or completely unplayable, because that's usually the two opinions we get when I state my opinion on that. I'd also like to see another new equipment, but I don't necessarily know what I want it to look like. I just think it'd be cool to have like one more interesting Stoneforge option. So like maybe a new sword, maybe something of an interesting, unique design. There's also a card to Zoe's Web that honestly probably has no business being in Modern, because it's just not that relevant. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. I just love this card. Isn't English making better than Vindicate? No, absolutely not. I'm sorry. I know this is also an opinion that gets shown up, and I really think Vindicate is much better. Being able to hit lands and not losing 3 life is much better, even with the instant speed payoff and the exile. Just like losing 3 life in the Swiftspear world is so bad. Yeah, but this card, Tizibo is, well, I don't know how to say the name here, but it's a 2-mana artifact. When it enters, you draw a card, and it says each land with an activated ability that isn't a mana ability doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Probably not a very fun card to have in the format, to be fair, but boy, do I like that card. Can we get Leyline off the field? I don't think so. But I'm not going to just like Inquisition my Lingering Soul so I can flash it back sooner. Give us a better blue-white sword. I don't think they'll ever make another blue-white sword. I think they're just going to keep it to 1 per color combination. Even another 1 white... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they probably won't print a better Path to Exile. But maybe something like Anthonize. Would Buried Alive be too good? Probably not. I would also like to see something that's worse than Faithless Looting, but better than Haggle printed. And there's a few different options. I'm kind of a fan of 1 mana at sorcery speed, draw a card, discard a card for 1 red or blue mana, and then the flashback is the either red or blue, whatever the front half isn't. And it flashes back for 3 mana. I think that could potentially be an interesting card. Yeah. I mean, I think Careful Study would immediately be one of the best cards in Modern, potentially just the best card in Modern overnight. And I'm just not really a fan when. I think that if you print a card into Modern and you think it's immediately going to be one of, if not the best cards, you probably have made a mistake by printing it, in my opinion. And so like Careful Study would be, like one of the best enablers, if not the best enabler in the format for Dredge, for Hollow One, for Phoenix, for Gristlebrand decks. And I think it would be just not a card I want to see. So somewhere in between. Laughing at Hollow One? Dude, Hollow One was so good. Hollow One was a good deck. Oh, cool. We drew a card. Or yeah, Vengevine decks too. Yeah, I think Careful Study would be bad for Modern. My opponent already has no cards in their graveyard, so I don't need to like hedge against Inverter by getting a Tormod's Crypt. Thanks to you for the thoughtful answer to questions before. Spike Should Think Bear, thank you for your resubscription. Can Crypt target them? Oh, it also can't, yeah. Forgot about that. Good point. I always forget that Leyline stops that because I don't usually play decks where people board in Leyline. What about Frantic Search? Frantic Search is a pretty busted Magic card. Frantic Search is banned in Legacy. I know that High Tide is not legal, and so that's a pretty obvious card to pair with Frantic Search, but I'm not saying Frantic Search would be too good, but Frantic Search is a very dangerous card to have legal. It's banned. Is it restricted in Vintage? I don't think so, but it is banned in Legacy. Card's very, very good. Oh, you know, one card I do want to see. One card I do want to see is the Goblin Recruiter Sylvan Messenger cycle. I want to see that cycle finished in Modern. I know that the zombie one and the zombie and the knight one is not legal. I don't know what the blue one is, if there even is a blue one. It's probably a Merfolk one, I guess. But there are four. The Goblin Ringleader, 4 mana 2/2 with a vanilla keyword. That reveals the top 4 cards of your library, and you can reveal all of the same creature types and put them into your hand. I would like to see that cycle finished in Horizons 2. Although it would be kind of weird to finish like it would be weird to finish one of the tribal ones without support for the tribes in the limited environment. So maybe that's asking for too much. That whole cycle is finished. It's not legal in Modern, though. Is what I'm saying. Like, I know that the cycle is finished. What I'm saying is the cycle is not all Modern legal, and I'd like for it to all be Modern legal. Yeah. So I guess I didn't specify, but I know that there's a zombie one. I know that there's a one for soldiers, not knights. I think I said knights. It's soldiers. But I believe that the soldiers ones and the zombie ones are not Modern legal. I don't know what the blue one is, if there is a blue one. Blue is Merfolk, yeah. I think that like the zombie Pyre of Heroes deck. I'm like, boy, I would just love to have a zombie ringleader, and that card does exist. It's just not legal. They sacked their Shelldock Isle? Kind of weird. Opponent's playing Inverter, and Karn seems to be really good against their build. There's also one for Kavu, that's cool. Alright. Bouncing back. Playing for 1 trip. Sounds really good. Turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Wildfire Flagstones, then 2 our choice of 3 drop. Yeah, Will of the Naga is probably the worst one. And there are bad Storm cards too. Not very many, but there are some. Take the Charm. Are we playing against Blue-Red Dragons? Is this Blue-Red Dragons? The best deck in Modern. You played against Blitz the past stuff in him. Got 2 games in a row by Ponza by playing. Yeah, Madcap is great in Ponza. Oh no, we should have fetched sorry. Messed up. We were supposed to get a Blood Crypt last turn. Pretty sure every Storm card is included seeing competitive play. I mean, this is a pretty semantic-y conversation, but it is Dragons, and I didn't play around the Scorn. Awesome. Opponent did say they were a fan. I'm so excited. My opponent is playing a deck that we've been messing around with. It's kind of like Blue Moon, that's playing Goldspan Dragon, because it's so good with Silumgar Scorn to cast Dragon and immediately have Scorn up. If they cast a removal spell targeting Goldspan Dragon, you just have Scorn up. If you get to attack with it, you also have Scorn up. And then you also play Sprite Dragon to have a density of dragons for your dragon deck. I need to stop. This is gonna be the last thing we look at. People have played Wing Shards. Yeah, Tropical Storm. No, sorry, not this one. There's a bad Wing Storm. This is it. No, there's a bad Green Storm spell. That's not this. Is it Ground Rift? It's weird because every card with the name Storm is here, so it's hard to sift through. Can somebody pull it up in chat? When the fetches basic lands in hand, yeah, maybe that's the worst storm card. Hunting Pack's not very good either, but it's actually kind of cool in EDH because you just like end of your opponent's turn. If there's a big fight, get a bunch of guys. Haze of Rage, yeah, that's probably as good as we're gonna get. Sure. I think I'm just playing Lingering Souls. I'll play around Silumgar Scorn.
Flashback Lingering Souls.
We know that one of their 2 cards is Lightning Bolt. Sorry, not Lingering Souls, just Spyro, discarding both of these. Do you have a list available for the Is It Dragons deck? It should be in the Stream Decker. If you type !deck, you can find them. It's the best way to find, you know, any deck list I've made. Yeah, Esther's a big Remy fan. MTG Remy's new video today is great. It's
what?
so good. It's not a music video. You probably wouldn't actually like this one, because I don't think you'd like really get it. But it's about the first intentional draw in Magic, and they intentionally draw, and then there's just this line where one guy's like, "So we're not going to play Magic," and the other guy's like, "No, we're still going to play for fun." And we're gonna be all smiley, and then they're like, "Oh, like Commander." I don't know. It's just if you've ever you know still played your match, even though you've intentionally chosen to draw, I think you probably know what I'm talking about. Where you're just like having fun, relaxing, while everybody else is sweating to see if they get into top 8. Yeah, his skits are so good. But that line about, oh, like Commander just absolutely killed me. Oh, no, I meant to flashback the souls. I got monologuing. It's my bad. Yeah, Stream Decker is broken kind of all the time.
Wasn't this the second to newest book?
I don't remember when I got that, but Athena did destroy it.
Poor book. Was she alone at home?
I think so. Yeah, this is. I got out the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica because I was playing D&D with Encounter Party last night, and Athena doesn't do this anymore. But she used to destroy books, but now she knows that books are not to be destroyed. She's reformed.
Kind of hit my eye.
Sorry.
Well, I'm glad chat knew I was singing Remy.
I think I do want to tutor here, since if my opponent has Snapcaster for Sinkhole, we just don't get. I guess the card goes to 1 loyalty, but it's kind of bad for us. I think I'm getting Cosmos Elixir. Total 5 months in a row. Remy content on a Spike stream. I would love. I mean, I don't know how I could possibly collab with Remy, because our content is so differently. But I'm just a huge fan, big fan.
Remy could write a song for you.
I think what would Remy get in return?
I don't know. More clout. He already gets clout. Huh?
Yeah, Remy's definitely more popular than I am.
Yeah.
Remy's got that mainstream appeal. I just have the F&M heroes and XPPTQ grinders in chat. So I'm going to play around Cryptic Command by coding one of their lands and go into my second main phase. Why Elixir? I think Elixir is really good. Elixir, you know, I think you want a card that gains life to tutor with for Karn, especially in the Swim Spear metagame. But this card is also just like going to be a Phyrexian arena that doesn't deal you damage in these kind of matchups.
Is that your commander deck on the mantle thing? It's out of the box.
No, it's just some cards. Like I know that it's not drawing us a card right now, but in 2 turns it will be, and it's just going to be potentially insurmountable card advantage. My opponent also has to, you know, reduce my life total to 0, and so that aspect of it's not too bad either. Can also just hit him with it. Which I guess is correct here, now that my opponent didn't draw a spell. Yeah, I know Shane from the Dive Down did a podcast with Remy, but I would never dare to use my connections to meet my hero Remy. I'm sure MTG Remy and I will become best friends at the next paper GP that it happens. So in like 2026.
Okay, it's fine.
So we're playing against dragons. Fatal Push and Thirst are both live. Thirst can kill Goldspan, Push only kills Sprite Dragon. I think I'm just resubmitting.
I pinched your nose. I got a feeling, do 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 do.
I'm high on believing.
Do 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 do. I don't know the rest either.
I love MTG Remy. I'm hooked on a feeling.
Ba, ba, da, ba.
Now this is the crossover. Remy can write the rest of the song.
No.
I didn't know what you were doing. I was worried you were gonna roll over Athena, but you didn't.
She moved out of the way. Of course I would.
I do sing on the stream more than probably any other MTG streamer I see, so maybe I am the perfect person to collab with Remy, after all. Does Athena know how to roll over? No, not really. She doesn't know how to do very many tricks. Kind of hard to make a husky do tricks, you know?
Either that or we're just lazy with teaching.
No, huskies are kind of just impossible, I think.
Or at least Athena's impossible.
Oh, I used to live with other huskies too. They didn't know any tricks.
Husky teach tricks?
She knows how to sit.
Yeah. That's all she does. Sit.
But that's not true. She knows when to go to bed. She knows how to get in the car. She knows to be calm most of the time when you ask her to be. She knows a lot of things, but she doesn't want to do tricks, which is fine. She knows a lot of commands. Like she knows how to do all of the important stuff.
Like do your taxes.
Yeah, Athena does my taxes for me. Playing around Scorn here. Guess they have it with a dragon to reveal. They also have Logic Knot. Scorn revealing Sprite Dragon. We have push up for that. They're not slamming the dragon though. You cutting my hair?
Mm-hmm.
I almost got a haircut yesterday. I was this close.
This close.
Yeah.
This close. Not you're that close.
No, I had the app open and I almost booked an appointment.
Why didn't you?
I don't know, the idea of going and having a stranger touch my hair when I didn't have to. So, I hate getting my hair cut. I just hate it when a stranger touches me. It's just the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, that's why I'm never like.
And you just gotta sit there for 30 minutes to get small talk.
That's why I would never force you to get a pedicure with me.
Yeah.
No, I would want to, but.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can get a pedicure anywhere because you're just.
What?
I mean, they don't work on these.
Oh, that's a manicure, honey.
Oh, okay.
Crabicure.
I mean, I'm good at striking a rapport with the hairdresser. I just hate doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everett is great at like small talk and great at
I'm really good at small talk.
He's so charismatic, but he doesn't like talking to people. Like I just don't understand. I
don't know.
No.
I do like talking to people. I just don't like talking to strangers. I guess it just.
You don't don't like, I guess, the vulnerability of it?
No, I don't know. There's just something about it.
Fake small talk?
Yeah, that's probably it. Just like the fake,
Forced.
like, you know, like I'm saying these things to you. I'm asking you how your day is going, and you're saying good, thanks. How's yours? Because these are just like scripted events that we have to do to be, you know, to talk to each other, and it just like rots my brain. I don't know.
And I am also terrible at cutting hair, so.
Yeah, I used to have a roommate who was a hairdresser.
Yeah, she graduated from Paul
Yeah.
Mitchell.
And
What's so funny?
nothing's funny.
What's so funny?
Nothing's funny.
Huh? What's
They
so
don't know what
funny
Paul
about it?
Mitchell is.
How do who? What?
I don't know.
You think they don't know who Paul Mitchell is?
I mean, I don't know who Paul Mitchell is.
Chad, do y'all know who Paul Mitchell is? Or what?
There's no way they know who Paul Mitchell is.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It is a bit weird that, you know, I have, you know, 850 strangers in the chat. But it's different. Like, this isn't small talk. I'm talking about things I enjoy talking about. I'm interacting with you guys in a way that I really enjoy doing. And it's not fake, you know, where small talk often is, and just rots my brain.
Yeah, it's a famous hairdresser, and he has like a whole like. Paul Mitchell basically has like the best, like, school of hair.
Well, good for Paul Mitchell.
Yeah. Yeah, good for him.
Love Paul Mitchell.
One person said, I have a girlfriend, so of course I know Paul Mitchell.
Well, if I had a girlfriend, I'd know who Paul Mitchell is.
Yeah, if
I just have a crab friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Half girl.
She's half girl, half crab.
Wait, half. Wait.
What?
The Dolphin Man song.
Oh. We can't. I'm not gonna remix it, but I know what you're talking about. I think it'd be too tricky to remix right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
All right, let's quadruple block this gold span dragon, or die trying. Oh, my opponent also chose not to get a card, or not to get a land, so they obviously drew something important. So maybe we can just chump block and try to get a ensnaring bridge down. Is this cryptic to kill me? Looks like it. Well played by my opponent. Going to game 3.
I'm hooked on my crab claws. I'll never take them off.
If only we had a Platinum Empyrean. It might still happen. Like, they have a really hard time beating it. I don't think I'm going to bring in the Madcap, because it's like they can still bounce the Cryptic, and it's pretty vulnerable to counter spells. But Bloodchief's Thirst is actually a pretty important card to have access to. Alright, so I'm actually going to play Flagstones on turn 1. I probably won't, but I might if I draw Urborg or Silent Clearing Smallpox on turn 2. But I think giving myself the option is good. When I lose to Blue-Red Dragons, is it like losing to yourself? It's kind of like losing to your pupil, which is for any streamer, it's a good feeling. I'm glad that you like the stream, Bohat. This deck's really cool, especially like I'm sure getting to see your deck like go toe to toe with like Reed and Jund Mirror was just so cool. That game against Reed was the best game I've played in probably all month. I don't know.
The Duke.
The Duke, yeah. We had some good games this month too, but that one was just so good.
Was that today?
That was today, yeah. Reed bluffed me for the win. I thought there was no way he didn't have it, but he didn't have it. It was awesome. But I also got to make some cool plays too. It was a great game. It was really fun. I think Reed rated me. We're best friends. We're getting manicures later. Alright, so opponent has already used one Force of Negation. If they have a second, it's not, I mean, it's not that bad for us because they had to 2-for-1 themselves twice.
It's okay, you can get manicures with Reed Duke as long as you don't get massages with anyone.
Okay. We could discard Lingering Souls for value. I think that's good because we have Karn in our deck. And Kroxa. It's not really sure how my opponent beats this. This is just like the max value Smallpox. Discard Lingering Souls. Sack Flagstones. Make them sack their Sprite Dragon. Yeah, my editor probably will clickbait that. Although, it's only if he like actually watches that far in the thing. He doesn't. I don't think always watches every video. He has an algorithm that edits a lot of it. Which is very cool. Kroxa is a great draw. One discards Cryptic Commands. I wasn't playing any copies of Remand. Remand would be the best card they could have here. You can automate editing videos. I mean, you can for some things like this, where he does some things, but like the splice, so it like cuts dead air automatically. It like cuts the matches together. It doesn't do everything by itself, but it does a lot of it. It's really cool. He wrote the program himself. I don't know if I'm probably fine to talk about this, but yeah, because at the end of all the videos it says powered by Gloomshot, which is his software. Yeah. Lingering Souls honestly has not felt that bad this league. I'm not gonna say that it's felt that good. But I've been casting them and it hasn't felt embarrassing. What if I brought in Madcap? No way not against the Smallpox deck. There's just no way. I think I'm casting Spyro here. I like that Spyro, if it gets countered or if it doesn't, allows us to escape Kroxa next turn. Although ideally I'm not going to escape Kroxa exiling Lingering Souls. Also gets around Force of Negation, where Lingering Souls doesn't, but that's not that big a deal. How do you react so little to the lobster? Oh, I didn't even see that in Counterparty. It was in the chat. But she's always here being she's been doing this a lot like the last 2 weeks, so
It's been 1 week.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
I mean, it's been this week and last week.
Last week. Okay.
That's 2 weeks. Okay. We're like at the end of this week. Investor is Mr. Krabs, who is Spike, Athena Gary. I guess that would make me Plankton, Mr. Krabs lover.
You sure? I feel like you're SpongeBob.
Well, I thought Plankton and Mr. Krabs are like...
There are
feuding lovers, right? And we're feuding lovers. That's how I've always thought of us.
Me. Stay away from me. Yeah, Plankton's married to his computer.
Alright. Oh, so am I. Oh, the perfect analogy. So am I. I'm Squidward. Maybe I am, yeah. Unfortunately. So if our opponent like cryptic taps, then we'll escape Kroxa. If they don't, we'll escape Pyro.
I will roll for tears.
Maybe we'll just escape Pyro anyways. Yester's great. My favorite subscriber. I forget what title you're bearing these days. Whatever you want to be called, you can be called. Goddess. Sure. That's what in Parks and Recreation, that's what the campers are called, right?
Yeah. But I also thought of the all gas no brakes.
I don't remember.
With the
don't say it.
Yes, goddess.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What did you miss with the crab claws? Just more of this nonsense. Standard nonsense. You've seen people saying Behold the Verse is a better Into the Story. What are my thoughts? You want to draw 2 cards, or you want to draw 4 cards for 4 mana? 4. And please,
the 2. You know why? 2, because I only have two fingers.
I'm pushing my elemental token here so that I don't have to escape over Lingering Souls, although it's probably not going to be very relevant. Oh my gosh. Why is Kroxa so hard to catch? So opponent could have... I was playing 1 Spell Snare. If they have it here, they maybe have a chance. If they don't have exactly the 1 Spell Snare, I can't see. Yeah, they do have the 1 Spell Snare. It's pretty good. I mean, I haven't seen any deviation from the list I posted, or I've been playing with, but
Sparring Spike
they could be playing different cards.
With his eyes closed.
They've already used 2 Cryptic Commands, 3 Cryptic Commands. I was only playing 3, so they can't have another one. So unless they brought in Madcap, I don't think that they can get out of this. I guess Archmage's Charm buys them a turn.
Well, I don't think I can sing anything because...
Yeah, it's hard to sing on command.
No. Isn't it because of the damn copyright people?
Sure. That's why.
That's what you tell me why.
Well...
Were you lying to me?
I don't know. I feel like when I sing, there's like no way that'll ever be relevant, but... I don't know, maybe your singing is actually close enough that it could be real.
Yeah, because I can actually hit the notes.
Yeah. Alright, went 3-2. Tough start to play against Reed Duke and then play against Dredge, which is a tough matchup, but we battled back, went 3-2. I like this deck a lot. I actually feel like Karn adds a lot to the strategy. I think the Madcap Experiment is very good. I like 5 discard spells, 5 1-mana removal spells. I might play the 4th push over the 2nd thirst, but it's honestly close. Like, killing Ridden 6 is really important. I might play like the 3rd Spyro over the 4th Lingering Souls, and maybe even like 4th Kroxa over 3rd Lingering Souls, but Souls wasn't like that bad. I do think you want to play it in this deck. I liked Cosmos Elixir. Obviously, we only grabbed it 1 time, and it wasn't that big a deal. I'm sure most people aren't going to be too surprised that we didn't actually tutor up the Empyrean, which is like a small synergy being able to do it, but it's not going to happen very often, being 8 mana in your Smallpox deck. That's going to be it for today's stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a great stream today. Really, really good. One of the best Donut Deck Thursdays. What?
That's it? So short.
What do you mean? It's 3 o'clock. I've been going for 6 hours and 12 minutes.
Okay, wait.
What?
Before we go.